On you all, and I welcome you all in your second home country, Egypt. We're always honored to have you with us as brothers in our country and as our dear companions working together towards security and stability amidst the different challenges that are taking place in the Arab region. More than 1 decade ago, we've been working together. I really thank you all and appreciate your great efforts that are being exerted in order to take our scope of cooperation further and enriching this important Arab Intelligence Forum with your ideas, because this is considered to be a unique forum, once of a kind, that tackles and assesses and further and fosters our support in the field of intelligence, in the field of security. And this has been reflected through the different forums that had already achieved the objectives of the forum and joint security action. And then this comes within the framework of full transparency concerning the main sources of threats that are mainly facing our region. So I'm really here asserting the importance and the confidence and trust building measures that our people are pinning hopes on the efforts of your agencies in order to safeguard the security and stability and the national interests and the treasures of the Arab world. Ladies and gentlemen, this important extraordinary meeting of the forum today to come in order to discuss the main liable repercussions of the Afghani crisis. This emanates also in a way of a joint responsibility in facing those sort of challenges and crises within the framework of joint Arab action under the umbrella of the Arab Intelligence Forum, where they are going to direct a message to the international community that our different institutions are already binding forces today before any sort of crises and threats that we face. This, in addition to what really history had reflected regarding our region, that there is no way out except through our unity in order to face any sort of threats that would leave our region untattered if we are not united. And in that respect, Egypt has been among the foremost nations that had suffered from terrorism, black terrorism. And this has been one of the reasons that made us put before the international community this sense of responsibility while facing the international and regional crises, whether in Palestine or in Afghanistan or in Iraq, and most recently the events that took place and still living in the Arab world, in Libya and Syria and Yemen. And such crises, there is no way out for such crises unless we stop and seize any sort of foreign interference in the Arab world and Arab affairs, and the respect of the determination and the will of the people and its institutions, and in a way that is going to put an end to any sort of exploitation on behalf of the terrorist or the takfiri elements to such crises and its repercussions. Excellencies, the heads of the Arab Intelligence Forum, what the region had faced throughout, this should be an alarm bell, and we should deal with it very cautiously and decisively, so that we would not go back any sort of steps backwards. We shouldn't at all leave behind what has happened since the Soviet withdrawal in Afghanistan, and left it an oasis for the takfiri elements to build a state inside the state. And this sort of poison were retrieved in the bodies of our Arab world and also to the European civilization. That's why we should further function the potential of your agencies and exert strenuous efforts in that respect to follow up the developments on the Afghani scene very precisely and firmly, and its repercussions and danger that it poses to the Arab security, so that we would not at all enable any sort of takfiri elements or terrorist organizations, that they would find a safe haven that would attract any sort of elements, such takfiri elements, and train them or plan for such any sort of plots. We need also to tackle and put into consideration the suffering of the Afghani people and what this might result in new waves of immigration or refugees. This region might suffer from such repercussions, and not away from Afghanistan, but there is also another dear part of us all. Egypt will never give up, will always pay every effort to support our Arab world and our brothers so that they will reach safety and security, and reaching a political settlement that will definitely take into consideration important steps and repercussions and procedures that unify the military institutions and fire away any sort of takfiris or such elements, and holding presidential and legislative elections in its fixed timings. Dear Presence, I would just wrap up my speech by saying that we are really express our sincere wishes and support to our dear brother Sudan to face all the challenges and the crises and achieve peace, security, and prosperity for the great people of Sudan. I would like also to assert the fact that Egypt will continue to work hard and spare no effort to support the Palestinian cause, which is considered to be a priority and considered to be our main cause, and fixing the ceasefire, and again pushing further the peace efforts according to international legitimacy and the Arab initiative, peaceful initiative, and putting and establishing a Palestinian independent state on the 4th of June borders 1967 with East Jerusalem as its capital. This in addition to further continuing our efforts to bring closer the Palestinian factions, our dear brothers, together, and achieving a sense of reconciliation, because this is going to safeguard the Palestinians' lives and their endeavors to achieve their rights through their unification and their solidarity. Dear Arab chiefs of the Intelligence Forum, I know that you have exerted great effort today, and I wish that God Almighty is going to bless all your efforts, and this is going to be a launching pad and a sense of continuation and a sense of coordination and cooperation for the sake of our Arab world. And I extend my greetings to their majesties and royal highnesses and leaders of the Arab world. I'm extending my sincere appreciation and sense of respect.